1 year ago, Randy the Rocket Man Popes dominated the Speed GT race from Watkins Glen on his way to collecting his second GT title. In 2008, Pope's dominating performance in the rain at Sebring was quickly washed away as the GT rookie Brandon Davis won on the streets of Long Beach. And then Tommy Archer controlled the most recent meeting in Utah. 3 different winners in 3 different makes. The 2008 Speed GT Championship heats up once again from Watkins Glen, and it starts now. Welcome to Speed's exclusive coverage of Round 4 of the Speed GT Championship from Watkins Glen International Raceway in Watkins Glen, New York. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Till along with Dorsey Schrader. We'll be in the booth for you today. Calvin Fish is down on pit road, and Dorsey, we talk about in the first 3 rounds, 3 different drivers have found the checkered flag, 3 different manufacturers. The one that is noticeably absent, though, is Mike McCann's Cadillac team, neither he nor Andy Pilgrim. We're going to see a 4th winner today?
Well, you're talking about 3s, and while you're talking about 3s, talk about Randy Popes. He competed here last year in 3 different events. He won all 3 times. I think Randy Popes is going to be a guy to be looking to beat today.
Yeah, Randy, always strong indeed, and this racetrack has a lot of history to it, and I know you've got a lot of history here. You've won here, so take us around for a lap.
Perfect racetrack for these cars. You know, big horsepower cars, big straightaways here. You know, you're going to see them go up through the S's nearly flat out, but then you go to a very interesting portion of the racetrack, the inner loop. Now, this is troublesome for the guys. That inner loop, you got to come from top speed all the way down to 3rd gear, and you got to try to get through there one at a time. But the guys will try to make it 2 or 3 wide, and they'll end up in the gravel trap more than likely there. Then from there down toward the toe of the boot, this is the handling section of the racetrack where the car really needs to be working well as you climb the hill back up towards start-finish line.
Watkins Glen, always one of the favorite racetracks of the Speed GT competitors. A lot of strength, a lot of experience up on that front row today. So for more on that, let's find out with Calvin Fish.
Well, Brian, the term unbeatable is seldom used in the world of motorsports. That was the case last year for Randy Popes. 3 victories, and he has the magic returning here this year with the pole position and the championship lead with those bonus points. But Randy, today, is there a key to victory?
Well, I'm really pleased to have the Porsche on the pole and to be back here with K-Pax 3R Racing. We're doing it on handling. It's like David and Goliath, and we're David with that little slingshot trying to get that rock right in the right place. It's going to be a really close, hard-fought race with some very different capabilities. It's great for World Challenge and great for my friends at Prairie Hills. And, you know, it's really good to be out here at Watkins Glen, and we're trying to make it 4. Got the right ingredient right here, sitting in it.
All right, mate, best of luck. Well, Randy looking for his first victory since the start of the season at Sebring. Now, the man who starts alongside him on the front row is the guy who sat on pole position here last year, Andy Pilgrim. Last year running for Team Cadillac, this year running for the Remington Cadillac team. And Andy, last year you had a similar view at the start. It was on the other side, mate. It didn't go how you wanted to last year. I'm sure you're looking for better things here today.
Oh yeah, definitely don't want to jump the start this year no matter what happens in front of the car. I'm just going to go. So I'm looking forward to a good race.
All right, mate. Well, Andy Pilgrim been on the podium every race this year, Brian, but still looking for victory lane.
Mr. Consistency, they call Andy Pilgrim. It's how he won his championship in World Challenge. We'll have some great onboard shots for you here today as well. Tony Gaples a little further back in the field in the number 34 Corvette. He'll start 13th. Further up the grid, we'll have some more shots. Andy Pilgrim, he talked about that jump start last year. We'll ride on board with him this year and make sure you bring you all the shots when the lights change. And what about Randy Popes? I think he has the key to this racetrack, Dorsey.
Clever helmet design, too.
Pretty easy and straightforward. Randy saying, hey, we may not have all the horsepower, but we've got the handling. And that's what it'll take from here at Watkins Glen, a very challenging racetrack about to be confronted by the drivers of the Speed GT Championship. Stick around. Speed's coverage of the Speed GT Championship is brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. By MagnaFlow Performance Exhaust. A hot rod just isn't a hot rod until it sounds like one. And by Royal Purple. Visit royalpurple.com to find a dealer near you. Round 4 of the Speed GT Championship about to get underway. The field streaming back around to the front straightaway for their traditional standing start. For more on the news from pit lane, let's head down to Calvin Fish.
Well, Brian, one driver has already had cause for celebration here today, and that's Eric Curran. It's his birthday, and as with any young driver, doesn't want to admit that he's in his 30s, so we'll call him 2013 here today. And he said the biggest birthday present he could have is to see that checkered flag. 3 races this year, 3 DNFs for the 4-time winner in 07.
Yeah, it's been a bad luck season for Eric Curran. He started 4th at the last round at Miller Motorsports Park, but was out early, credited with a 30th place finish, and that is not what you want to see. His finishes do not read well, 26th, 25th, and 30th. So Eric Curran needs a little birthday present here, Dorsey.
Yes, he does. And he's back a ways, so he's going to have to work hard to get it.
All right, drag race, Caddy versus Porsche. You got the Porsche on the pole in the hand of Randy Popes and that Cadillac alongside. Who's gonna be off down into turn 1 first?
Well, I think, you know, it's a downhill straightaway here on the pit straightaway. It's a little bit of a downhill grade. That'll help Randy Popes a little bit over that bigger horsepowered Cadillac next to him.
And Randy has said, I just need to make it into the inner loop first because this Porsche is a dream. Oh, Gunter Scholdock in the pits. Problem in his number 9 Dodge Viper. He'll not make the start. Grid is clear. Kathy Malik with the signboard, 5 seconds. She'll run, jump over the wall. The lights will go on, and when they go off, we'll be racing in SpeedGT Championship from Watkins Glen. Round 4 is underway.
Wow, even launch. Really good launch. Randy Popes gets to Porsche, will lead into turn 1.
Tommy Archer in that big V10 powered Dodge Viper. Remember, he won the last round at Miller Motorsports Park in Utah. He slipped through.
Archer,
Pilgrim back to 3rd.
Archer actually ran up on the curb in turn 1 and upset his car a little bit.
But what a great start by Randy Popes. Now it's the drag race. Who has the torque to get up through the S's? Archer beginning to claw at the back of that Porsche.
4th place car, Brandon Davis with the big horsepowered Ford, but they've given him a restriction. They've dropped him from 8,000 revs to 74. He doesn't have as much speed as he had last week. Oh, little side-by-side crash back there. They got through it okay, but they did hit.
Michael Galati and Mike McCann. McCann getting the best of Galati in his Cadillac CTSV right there. You see the black and white Cadillac of Mike McCann. Meanwhile, back up front, Randy Popes. He says that Porsche is a dream in the boot. He needs to pull away. Eric Curran in his Corvette all over the back of Michael Galati, the red and white Corvette up at the top of the screen. Meanwhile, Popes through the toe of the boot.
Talk a little bit about some changes since the last race, and I'm talking about on the Viper, 25% restrictor on the inlet has taken some power from that. I just said that the Mustang loses RPM down from 8,000 to 7,400. Those are performance adjustments. Here comes Brandon Davis.
7,400 RPM is the RPM that the Cadillac runs as well. So Brandon Davis backing off that 8,000 RPM that they could run. But the word that I got, Dorsey, is they weren't using all of the 8,000 that they had available to them anyway.
Well, that's what you really don't know. I mean, that's something they're saying, but we don't know. We're not the engine builder. Certainly that reduction of 600 RPM takes power away without question.
Right now, Andy Pilgrim trying to work his way back up to the front. But Pilgrim, so consistent. Remember, he has won championships without winning races, so he is Mr. Consistent. Mike McCann coming under attack by the blue and red K-Pax Porsche of 5-time world champion Michael Galati. Now, that Viper in the hands of Tommy Archer, 25% restrictor on that motor after the Miller Motorsports Park event. But the word I have, Dorsey, is they've done so much engine development in the offseason. They really found a lot of horsepower. And even though that restrictor is bigger than the one that they ran last year, Tommy Archer's still laying down a pretty good pace right now.
Oh, yeah. They ran a 20% restrictor last year. This is 25, so it's a little bit worse. Choked down, but don't count Archer out, that's for sure. That car should get around here pretty well. But Randy Popes is the master of Watkins Glen. There's no doubt about it.
I think he may be the mayor of Watkins Glen. Like I said, I think he's got a key to this racetrack right now. Mike McCann trying to stay in front of Michael Galati in that K-Pax Porsche. McCann in his Cadillac.
And there is Eric Curran pressuring from behind. He's pushing Michael Galati. Birthday boy wants a win.
And Eric Curran has had so much bad luck this season. Needs to work his way back up for the guys at the Whalen Engineering program. Sonny Whalen in an identical Corvette to the one that Eric Curran drives.
That's documented. He's had a horrible season so far. Hasn't been able to finish a race. And sometimes you fall into those years and you just don't understand what's gone wrong.
Brandon Davis all over the back. And then look at Eric Curran working his way up onto Michael Galati. It'll be interesting to see one more time. That'll be a Corvette versus a Porsche down the back straightaway the next time by.